Hi, I'm super glad you're here. This is Interpersonal Communication, and this is Let's Talk Turkey with Jayne Turk. We're going to start by introducing what this class is going to be all about. Let's talk about how this class is going to be different than other online classes. If you've never had an online class, step in and enjoy what we're doing, and hopefully you'll have a blast, and it'll be new and exciting and different for you. If you've had an online class, this is probably going to be significantly different than the things that you've done before, because I'm going to be using these podcasts to cover the content of the class. They're going to be expected to read the textbook, but we're not going to be spending a lot of time with reading my lecture notes or showing you other videos. But this is going to be more of a conversation, and these conversations are going to be tied into your discussion board posts and what I call simulation journals and chapter notes. I'll be explaining all of them to you one at a time, but I just wanted to give you a little bit of a sense of what the class is going to be like. And we'll start with what it's going to look like. When you go into Canvas, you're going to click on modules or click home, and you're going to see the module page. At the very top of it's going to be the More You Know, which is going to have information about meeting me on Zoom and office hours, the textbook, that kind of basic stuff, as well as the commitment essay that we're going to talk about in a couple of weeks. It's also going to have the link to a very traditional syllabus. You can print that up if you like, or I'm going to be on campus the first week of classes, so if you'd like to stop by and get a hard copy from me, I would love to meet you all, and that would be a great opportunity for me as well, and I can give you then this paper copy of a syllabus to follow along. But you can also download it. You don't need to print it up, but you can then look at it in the way that you would in any of your other classes. And then the weekly podcasts are going to be organized all together. For most weeks, it's just going to be one thing there. There are a couple of times that I'm going to have an additional thing, or if we're doing an assignment, it will have its own podcast associated with it. But most weeks, you're going to be looking at just one particular podcast. If you click on, for instance, I chose Week 3, perception. It's going to explain to you what you're going to be doing. It's going to give you a link to the video to watch. In this particular case, it has a fun activity you can do on the side. And then it's telling you what you're going to do with your simulation journals and your discussion boards. So every week I'll go into specifically what we want from those, and I will have a separate video that explains the simulation journals and your chapter notes. This is just going to give you a little bit of an overview. You're going to be all in one place. You're not going to have a million tabs to click on or a million links to click on. If you want to go back and just look at them, and it's going to be more important in some classes than others, you can have that written word as well. That'll be in there. And then, of course, there will be a link to the video. And the videos, then, they're going to vary. They're usually anywhere from 20 to 45 minutes. You can see this particular one was only 17. There's some that are a little bit shorter, some that are a little bit longer. And that's going to be the lecture material for that week. It's going to be how we run the class, is with these little podcasts. And just as a note, there are a couple of things. You can listen to them. You can watch them. You can do both. If you are listening/watching, you can increase the speed. If you want to just get through it really fast, that's fine. You can do that. But I do want to emphasize, this is how I'm teaching the class. You really need to make sure that you are watching or listening or both to these podcasts. I mentioned earlier that there is an online syllabus. And so this is to give you a little bit of an overview. If you printed it up, this is what it would look like. It starts with the basic information about the class. I have office hours Mondays and Wednesdays from 10:35 to 12:10, and Tuesdays from 5 to 6, and those are on Zoom. I'm also available by appointment a lot. Just let me know that you want to meet, and we'll make it happen. Along those lines, please take a minute, pause the video or whatever, and jot down my cell phone number. Put it in your phone book. And then when you text me or whatever, make sure that you identify who you are and what class you're in, because I have lots of students. And so if you just say, hey, what are we doing this week? or I got locked out, can you help me? I don't know who you are, and I don't know what class you're talking about. Please let me know. This class is transferable to the UC and CSU systems. This gives you that information about that, and it gives you our student learning outcomes. That's the first page of the syllabus. Super important to have that information, but really easy to go back and find it if you need it. And then I took a screenshot of the table of contents because most of your syllabi probably have not had a table of contents, but they probably also have not been many pages long, mine typically are. Hopefully you can find all the things that you need, and this avoids you having to click through various modules. If you want to find something right now, you can just look there, and everything is there right now. You can go find it, including the midterm. So you can take a look at those things if you need to. Up next, we have the class policies, and the first one is that respectful attendance is mandatory. When you're taking an online class, you're attending through your discussion board posts. And so your attendance is your participation, your posts in those discussion boards. I do not have so many words minimum on most of them. I have, you're going to do this thing. It's usually very short, but I expect you to actually interact with other people. This is not going to be a, oh yeah, I like what you have to say post. It's going to be an actual interaction. And that needs to be always respectful. That's important. Late work, there are many things that I have open-ended due dates. The discussion boards I will start locking up pretty quickly. And papers I'm very flexible with. If you get behind, just talk to me. I can often accept papers late. But the farther you get behind, the less meaningful the work is for you. One of the things we're going to be doing in this class is, I've mentioned the simulation journals, and we're going to be doing 2 minutes worth of work on them every week. If you get behind, that work's not meaningful. It's just busy work. I'll accept it, and I obviously can't know when you did it. But when it's busy work, it's not useful for you, and it's not really supporting your learning, and it's going to take up more of your time. So if you can just get in the regular habit of doing a couple minutes of work a week, you'll be much happier in the end. Along those lines, discussion boards, simulation journals, we get to academic honesty. This is a class that's very focused on you and your self-discovery journal. I do not need you to rip open your guts to me. I do expect you to be honest, and that means not using AI to write your papers or your discussion boards. Yes, I can tell because I have those things embedded in there that let me know when you've done that particular thing. But it also makes it totally meaningless. Please, I ask you, make this work your own. I do not have a lot of work in this class. I've tried to not have busy work. And so if you can just make sure that you're being present when you're doing it, it's going to really help both of us. There's all kinds of help available, and I am your best resource. I want to work with you. I want to meet you. I want to meet every single one of you. If we're meeting on Zoom, that's great. If you need to do over text messages, that's fine. But if you need help, talk to me. And this gives you a lot of the other resources that are available to you. A couple of things I want to call out, that it's your responsibility to drop if you decide that's what you're going to do, and that there is, towards the end of the semester, one presentation that has to be done in order for you to pass. And we're going to have lots of times available for you to show up and do that on Zoom, but everyone's going to need to do that presentation. How will you spend your time? You're going to spend your time, your in-class time, watching videos, writing and responding to discussion board posts, writing your simulation journal entries, a little bit of chapter notes outside of class, and we're going to have 2 papers that you write. There are 4 paper options. You're going to be choosing 2 of them. Those are the kinds of things we're going to be doing in class. And while we're on that subject, I want to say, don't use Canvas for grades, because Canvas doesn't work with the kind of grading we do for this class. I do have a grade sheet if you want to track what you're doing, but because I have assignments that you're going to choose between, it's always going to look like you're missing something. So don't worry about that, and talk to me if you have questions. Also in the syllabus, I have a regular schedule, just like I would for a face-to-face class, and it tells you what we're going to be talking about in the videos and what you're going to be responsible for doing. So you can see a little check marks next to the things that you need to make sure that you're accomplishing. And this could be really helpful for you if you want to print out that page. I encourage you to do that. I also called out the writing assignments. That's actually 2 pages long, explaining the different writing assignments, but you might want to go ahead and read them in advance and just decide early on which ones you want to do. I haven't given you the skills to do them yet, so you can't work on it ahead, but you can make that decision because the papers have different deadlines. And so if you decide that you want to do the first and the second paper, you've got to do those earlier on in the process than if you're doing the third and the fourth. And as I mentioned earlier, we have the presentations, and you're going to be signing up for those topics. Again, we're not going to do those till towards the end of the semester, but you may want to be taking a look at them and seeing if there's a particular topic that is of interest to you, because you will be choosing your own topics, but it is a first come, first serve. If there's something that really speaks to you, make sure that you sign up for it early. And I reference the simulation journal and the chapter notes, and I will definitely go over these in much more detail. But I just wanted to show you really quickly that the simulation journal, and you can do this either on Google Docs or you can do it on paper. We're going to do a skill. I'm going to teach you a skill. You're going to probably practice it at the discussion boards, and then you're going to reflect about it. Was a technique effective? Why or why not? The things you need to remember for next time, and do you feel like this skill is integrated? Again, I'm going to go over this, so if you didn't understand it, no worries. I just wanted you to see the simulation journal and the chapter notes because these are things that you will be doing pretty much every week, almost every week. And in case no one said it to you today, and I am super glad that you're here, so I want to be the one to say it, I love you. This class is really special to me, and I'm glad that I get to take this journey with you. So this has been Let's Talk Turkey with me, Jayne Turk, and I look forward to seeing you again soon. Thank you, and have a great day.